right. Hi, everyone. It is currently 5:33 on Thursday, October 8th, 2020, and I'd like to call the meeting to order. My name is Claire Geisigam, and I am the chair of the Communications Committee for the Athens City Commission on Disabilities. Joining us today is Arian Smedley, Rose Dekas, Michael Rodriguez, and Dr. Carolyn Lewis is going to be joining us, I think, fairly soon. So first on the agenda is to approve the minutes from September. So did everyone get a chance to look at them? I know that Dr. Lewis sent them out. I think it was around a half hour ago. So do I have a motion to approve those minutes? Okay,
I'll move to approve.
Okay, so Arian, and then, okay, then Rose seconds. All right, so all in favor?
Aye.
All right, so the motion carries. Okay, so next is new business, and we'd like to welcome Michael Rodriguez as a new member of the committee. When we were discussing inviting additional people to serve on the committee, Dr. Lewis suggested Michael Rodriguez a few months ago, and I was very excited to hear that name. I worked for him on a few projects at WUB while I was in grad school, and I think having someone with his expertise is really going to help us reach our potential as a committee. So, so Mike, could you remind me of your title again?
Yes, Director of Production Services and Student Development. Okay. All
right. Well, it's really great to have you. Thank you so much for joining us. And Dr. Lewis is here now.
Thank you. I'm excited to be here. Thank you.
Okay. So on to old business. I have the monthly columns and letters, and for September and October, I still haven't seen any letters or columns published yet in the Athens News or the Athens Messenger. And I have been wondering if, I know that the two papers have new editors now, and just as a small frustration, I think, as a reader is sometimes I'll log on to the home pages of the websites and I'll see news on the front page that is 2 weeks old. And I haven't seen that happening since the last couple of months. And so I'm wondering if there's just some technical issues, or I'm not sure, but I don't know. I'm a little disappointed with how hard it's been to get our columns published. But just to give an update on Medium, we're good to go with that. All I need is the email address for the Disabilities Commission, and then I can go ahead and log on and verify the account. So I believe Dr. Lewis has that information, and I can send her an email just to get that, and then we can get started with that right away. Does anyone have anything additional to add to that?
Has mine ever gotten published? I don't think so.
No, and you haven't seen it back in July, didn't you? Or was that August?
It was August, yeah. I've been periodically looking for it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I wonder if perhaps we ought to think of first of all, to ask the editors if they can run us as a monthly column under a byline. That might help get them going, because submitting it as a column without having a byline, that might make a difference in to get approval of a monthly byline,
Okay.
and then it would become a regular column.
Okay.
That's a good point, Rose. And I echo your frustration, Claire. It's not as if they don't have room for more local voices. They frequently will run national byline columns and such, and that's a resource, or that's something that folks can get online. It's the local voice that they really should be amplifying in the local papers. So I agree. And Rose's idea might be a good one if they're expecting it and they dedicate space to it every month. Sorry, I'll mute myself.
Get it right. Exactly.
Mm-hmm. That was the original intent. When I first contacted Caitlin, that was what I thought she was going to do. I don't know if I've ever seen any in the Athens News. I don't know. I haven't seen any, but I know she was very excited about having what we sent. But then the first two, I think she did mine and Noah's, and maybe one more. I'm not sure. But maybe try to set up a meeting with them, Claire. What do you think? Or some kind of, maybe a Zoom or a phone, anything, just to get some personal contact.
I think that's a great idea. I was just thinking about that, how I wish that we weren't in pandemic times, because in situations like this, I tend to just show up or ask if I can show up. Yeah. So yeah, if we could just set up a virtual meeting, it it can be 15 minutes. I know that things are really crazy right now, but absolutely, I think that's a great idea. So, Dr. Lewis, would you
follow up on Rose's idea too, see if that would be something that they would do?
Sure. So would you like to reach out to maybe Caitlin to set up a meeting, or would you like me to do that? Because I think I have her.
Yeah, why don't you do it with Caitlin and Sydney Hall? Does she have the information?
Okay, yes.
It's on the last, I think you do. Okay, good.
Yeah.
I'm having an idea for what to call it. Maybe it could be called From the Disabled Community or something like that, like not that specific words, but, yeah, other voices, right? Or something like that.
Okay. All right. And then is there anything else that anyone would like to add to the monthly columns and letters? Okay. And moving on to the social media, I am no longer on my personal Facebook page. It was an interesting decision, seeing as I've been on Facebook for 14 years. So
you, Terry, anybody that we need, like Kathy. Heck, Kathy doesn't need to be there the whole time.
Right. She could even remote in.
We could either remote in or if she had to be there, schedule people in and out. So we never have more than 10 in the room at a time.
Yeah, I agree. We'll have to manage that.
Especially maybe once the, right? I mean, a lot.
Right. Okay. Yeah, that's a really good point. So yeah, I will definitely keep that in mind, because I think I've always been a fan of local content. So the more local content, the better, definitely. So yeah. And then also the Athena Award, I tend to update the Facebook page with that around twice a week, whether it's the nominations or pretty soon it's going to be the ceremony, or the new statuette, the Calling All Artists. So in terms of updates for the Athena Award, I know that the Education and Outreach meeting is going to be on Tuesday, the 13th. So we won't have another meeting until then, but we'll be in touch via email, I'm sure, to run by some ideas, because Dr. Lewis and I are going to be meeting on Sunday to go over the format of the event. So when I put together kind of the branding for the event, I'll definitely want to run it by some other people just to get some buy-in and approval and any other suggestions. So just keep an eye out for that, because I think the communication for that will likely occur mostly through email.
Just so Michael will know, every year we give an Athena Award. It's for a person or an organization, agency that does outstanding work over the past year for people with disabilities. And we give one award. And last year was a really, really big event. And it was the 5th year of the Athena Award. I think the 15th year of the commission. So we made a real big to-do of it. And Dr. Smith was the one who received was the recipient. So this year we're having to change our whole focus and do virtual. So that's what we need all of your and everyone's creative thinking on how we make this virtual event really interesting and exciting. One idea I had, Claire, is that somehow the day of the event, of course, the 6 nominees will be on our virtual award ceremony, that at the time we announce it, that someone can show up at that person's door distanced and give them the award. And of course, maybe we can already have everyone with their certificates. We give everyone a certificate and then they can have that with them. But I think it might be exciting, just, like Publishers Clearinghouse, but not knock on the door. And they say, oh, just a minute. And they come back with the Athena Award, whoever it might be. So what we do as the Education and Outreach Committee, we vote for everyone on the grid. So each of the committee members will give their vote for their top choice, like a 6, and then they'll go down to the second choice, so 5, 4, and then we add those up. So it's really even. No one can, if someone's rooting for someone and they can't really politic for whoever they want, so everyone makes their own decision about who they vote for. And then we will announce it that night, and it's sort of like the Academy Awards, like no one knows until that night who the recipient is. And so as we put this together over the next couple of weeks, we don't have much time. Last year, Claire got pictures of everyone, and we showed them at Arts West, and she went and got video of the recipient. And then when that was announced, we showed the video. So we'll probably try to do a similar thing, but this time virtually. So whatever ideas you all have, my goodness, we can use them.
I love that idea.
Yeah, I just had a couple thoughts. Yeah, the Publisher Clearinghouse thing, I think would be great. It would be so much fun to do that. And maybe even someone could have a live, someone else could be there too, just doing a live cast of the handoff. But and of course, we'll maintain social distancing and all that. But
absolutely.
Going back to the social media, and then I'll get back to the Athena Award. Claire, you were asking what other ways, other types of posts that we can do that might increase our engagement. People really love photos of people. And I know a lot of photos were taken at last year's Athena Award, so maybe we can use some of those to kind of drum up interest in this year's. I don't know if we have photos from other events that we've done. And I know it's hard now to take photos of the work that we're doing because we're all meeting virtually. So maybe just something to keep in mind once we're back at work together and doing things, we'll just remember to take photos of interesting things that we're doing and posting those and kind of pepper them in with the articles that we post, just kind of mixing up the type of social media post.
Right.
And also another thought about things that we can post on social media. Maybe once the videos are done for this year, we could do a teaser video that takes little snippets of each of the profiles and puts them together that we could post online, again, just to kind of build up interest in attending the actual event. Of course, you don't want to show the whole entire video ahead of time, but maybe just a little like trailer sort of thing. And then posting that on social media.
Sure.
That's a lot of work.
Go ahead.
Oh no, I was just saying it's good that we have the resources in place for sure. We have the pictures, we're going to have the video of the event itself. And I think I have the footage from last year from Dr. Smith. So yeah, I think it's just getting creative with what we already have, and sometimes I need reminded of what we have. So that's great. But what were you saying, Mike?
No, I was just going to ask. Well, thank you for explaining the whole what the Athena Award is, Dr. Lewis. But definitely a newcomer to it. But I guess what leads me to question is, do you have the 6 nominees selected as of now? You said 6. Am I correct?
There were 6 submissions, right? And what we
submissions, okay.
We kind of honor all of them. We give them all certificates. We put about them, their background, and then we announce more about who the recipient is at the end.
Okay, I gotcha. Yeah, no, you can only do so much in the virtual sense, but you can do a lot of pre-planning, right? And I think this is good that we're meeting now, right?
Mm-hmm. And now that we know who the nominees are, so it's not that we're disclosing anything to any one of them, but we can, like we did last year, just go get photos, or some of them already had photos that we could use already. And so we can just get those and start putting those together in a little package, whatever you want to do.
One thought I had is that whoever's going to MC could introduce the previous award winners and speak like maybe a paragraph of what each person did in their life to merit the Athena Award, right? I mean, there's such wonderful people. And that might be a lead-in to this year's introduction.
Dr. Smith is will be on the program this year. The mayor is the master of ceremony, so he is on the program to talk about his experience last year.
Oh, and I was thinking of, we've been doing this for how many years now? 6 years?
6 years. This will be the 6th year.
Right. And so mentioning the people from before, like Mike Fletcher and other, just even a short memoriam kind of sentence to give people an idea of who we've honored before and why we've honored them. Mm-hmm. Just an idea.
Okay, no, it is a good one. We'll have to do a little bit of digging. So,
right, exactly.
So keep an eye out on your emails for incoming communications about that. I imagine by Sunday or early next week is when we'll really get the ball rolling on the visuals and the course of the event, program, stuff like that. So yeah. And then anything else in terms of the Athena Award update?
No, just on what Rose just said, I imagine Barry would probably know, because she's been with that from the beginning, a little bit about each of them. So that wouldn't be hard to do.
Right. Okay.
Really?
And then going back to, I'm just curious, going back to a little more broader reach on your social media. Are you able to use the city's platforms at all? The city government platforms? Like Twitter or their Facebook page?
I believe that we can ask them to share what we post on our Facebook page. And yeah, I imagine that they would be able to do that pretty quickly and easily. So That's something I'm definitely, so from Scott, he just sent a message to the chat. Yes, we can share anything. So yes.
Yeah. So maybe a week out, you have an image with the Athena Award that says date and time, or you prominently put on maybe the landing page of city government.
Good idea.
Yeah, Mike, we also have a page within the city site. So if you go to that, we post information there, so we can do that again.
Yeah.
Okay. So that people could watch this.
Right.
That's a great idea. I'll definitely remember to do that. Okay.
And this is a Zoom event. I'm just curious that you were aiming to do.
Mm-hmm. Yes, okay. It'll be a Zoom event, and I believe it will be broadcast to Facebook because the participants for the event, the nominees, the speakers, they'll all be on Zoom, but the audience itself will be watching via Facebook. So I'm pretty excited about that because people will get the chance to comment and just kind of provide their insight to the ceremony. And I always like that level of engagement for local events now. So I'm eager to see what the feedback is on that.
Yes.
How about ACTV? I mean, the community television.
They're no longer in business.
Would they be willing to film it and then post it or show it?
They're no longer in business, Rose.
Oh no. Well, then I guess not.
I remember I was asking them if they had any cameras available for me to check out. And I think I called them on their last day of operation.
Oh, wow.
So it's like, thank you for the update.
You should have said, can you give us some of your cameras?
Mm-hmm. I wonder what did happen to all that equipment, but what a loss that is still. But okay, moving on to the resource list. I made a note to check what the health department has on their website because, and Mike, just to give you some background, we had a request to just put some information together for people who might be needing assistance with food or clothing or transportation, because, it's Athens, and so there are a lot of resources central to the city, but there's not necessarily a centralized way to access them. 211 is incredible, but sometimes it's just, it helps to have something in print, like something in your hands, or, getting the word out, like, oh, the City Commission on Disabilities might have something. So we're still developing this list of resources. We have categories from food to transportation to employment training to housing. And so we're still tweaking it. And I know that the health department put together a very helpful resource for COVID-19 when everything was blowing up back in March. But that document itself that lives on the health department's website has really evolved and grown, and through all the chaos of the last 8-9 months, it has become very overwhelming to look through this resource. It is a living document, and it's pretty disorganized, and a lot of the information I know has changed. So I need to double think. I need to think again of how we can structure this to be a living document on the city's website, because I don't want it to get too big to edit or grow too big for us to really keep a hold on it, because it's kind of easy to, with Southeast Ohio, just being as splintered as it is. So maybe Athens City doesn't have something, but Marietta does, or maybe the right pantry to meet someone's needs is in Nelsonville. So yeah, I think it's just making sure that it's centralized and easy enough for us to keep updated and keep it organized. So I'm still, doing some brainstorming. I'm still open to any feedback that anyone has, but I can resend the document that I currently have out after this meeting just to give us a sense. And I'll also send out the health department's document too, just to give us a sense of, some other examples and what else is out there.
That came about, Mike. I think someone contacted, I'm not sure who it was on this committee or another one, someone with a disability as the pandemic started to hit, saying, what do I do? Where do I go for resources? So that's why we decided to try to put something together.
I got you.
Right. And like I said, I mean, 211 is what I have at the very top of the list, but sometimes your phone doesn't have minutes to call 211. So yeah, we're just looking for ways to get creative with it. Hopefully we'll be able to print some copies out to have on hand. I'm thinking that might be a good idea. We can do that in a budget friendly way, but yeah, that's just the update on the resource list. And then for the mass gathering list, I know that is still in the pipeline. And right now, I know that Chief Pyle said that he's willing to distribute the information to permit seekers who are looking to have mass gatherings, which I think is really great news. So
yeah, just update everybody on where that stands. And to update you, Michael, so this is a document, as Claire mentioned, that would be distributed to anyone who gets an approval to hold a march or a rally in Uptown Athens. And the document would provide them considerations to things to consider in order to make their event more accessible to those who might need some accommodations. So it just spells out some planning considerations they want to think about. If it's a march, ensuring that the route is of a terrain that would accommodate someone who uses a wheelchair, designating certain spaces for service animals, and that sort of thing. Where I still need to do some work is fleshing out the local contact list, because in addition to those general guidelines, we wanted to offer a list of local contacts for ASL interpreters, where to go to get to get Braille printed locally or as local as possible, how to make your website accessible and that sort of thing. And so I've communicated with Diane Bouvier, Cheryl, her last name escapes me. Yes. Paige Fuentes, Dr. Lewis, and Noah Tremblay to flesh out those areas. So we have we're looking for local consultants on disability and accessibility issues, local ASL interpreters, how to print Braille locally, and again, as I mentioned, how to make an accessible website. So that's kind of where that document stands, just fleshing out the local angle.
Erin, a good resource for Braille is Diane Bouvier, because Dr. Smith first came on the commission, even well before that, when we needed to get Braille printed for the Athena Award for him last year, the programs and everything. She took our documents to the library, and they did a free service for us, or I guess they provide a free service. So she knows how, she has that contact, and she knows how to do that.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, okay, great. So I'll look forward to hearing from her on the steps for that, and we'll definitely include that in the document. That's helpful. Thank you.
That's an awesome resource. I didn't know that they did that. That's great. Okay. Is there anything else that anyone wants to add in terms of old business or new business that wasn't covered, or anything additional before our next meeting? Okay. So with that, I'd like to note that our next meeting is on November 12th, 2020 at 5:30 p.m. via Zoom. So just keep your eye out for the invitation from Scott and the agenda from Patty. And do I have a motion to adjourn?
I move.
Okay. Do I have a second?
Second.
All right. So if all in favor, could you raise your hand?
Aye.
All right. Motion carried. All right. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.